It must have been an absolutely terrifying moment for the king, the queen, and their children, because the crowd is fearsome.
Louis Charles, the boy who would become Louis XVII, the subject of one of history's greatest cold cases. One day, he was heir to the most powerful throne in Europe. The next, he became prisoner number 207 in a dark medieval tower. His family gone, his kingdom in ashes. And then, silence. For 2 centuries, the world chased the ghost of a vanished king. Stories of escape, substitution, and secret rescues spread across continents. But the truth, the real truth, was hiding in plain sight. And when scientists finally tested the only surviving piece of his body, the result shattered every myth. The legend was a lie. The truth was far, far darker. Before we proceed, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. A life of golden privilege meets a nation in collapse. Louis Charles, born in the resplendent palace of Versailles, lived in a world carved out of gold, marble, and mirrors. Versailles wasn't a home. It was a kingdom within a kingdom, sprawling across more than 2,000 acres. His mother, Marie Antoinette, adored him. After his older brother died, he became the long-anticipated heir to the French throne. He had tutors, servants, miniature carriages pulled by goats, a life where every desire was instantly fulfilled. But outside the palace gates, France was starving. The economy was collapsing. The people blamed the queen, mocking her as Madame Deficit. Scandals like the diamond necklace affair cemented her reputation, despite her innocence. By 1789, anger turned to fury. The revolution began, not as a moment, but as a tidal wave. At first, the royal family was moved under guard to the Tuileries Palace in Paris. But on August 10, 1792, the illusion of control shattered. 20,000 armed revolutionaries stormed the palace. The Swiss guards who protected the royals were butchered. The king, queen, and their children fled through the gardens and surrendered themselves to the very government that despised them. The monarchy was abolished. The royal family was shackled and delivered to the temple, a fortress built by the Knights Templar, now a cold stone prison.
The Child King Behind Bars. In January 1793, Louis XVI was executed. In the eyes of royalists, the 7-year-old boy in the Temple Tower instantly became King Louis XVII. But to the revolutionaries, he was a dangerous symbol, one that needed to be broken. On July 3, 1793, guards ripped Louis Charles away from his mother. Marie Antoinette clung to the doorway for hours, begging them to kill her instead. It didn't matter. She was forced to let go. It was the last time they would ever see each other. To re-educate him, the revolutionaries appointed Antoine Simon, a shoemaker and zealous loyalist of the new regime. His mission was simple: erase the prince's identity. He taught the child to sing revolutionary songs, forced the red cap of liberty onto his head, and, according to accounts from Louis Charles' sister, subjected him to mistreatment, alcohol, and psychological torment. Worst of all, during Marie Antoinette's trial, the terrified child was coerced into signing a document filled with grotesque lies about his mother. Those lies helped send her to the guillotine. By early 1794, Simon left his post, and no one replaced him. Louis Charles, heir to a continent-spanning empire, was abandoned in a stone cell. For months he lived in isolation, filth, and darkness. When new authorities finally opened his door in July 1794, they found a child barely recognizable, emaciated, diseased, mute from trauma, his body ravaged by neglect. Though officials tried to restore his health, it was too late. Tuberculosis had taken hold. Death, secrets, and a stolen heart. Louis Charles died on June 8, 1795. He was 10 years old. But even in death, the revolution feared what he represented. They ordered an autopsy to silence rumors. Dr. Philippe Jean Pelletan conducted the examination and was shaken by the frail, scarred body before him. This was not simply illness, it was suffering. Then Pelletan did something extraordinary. Following an old royal tradition, he secretly removed the heart of the boy, wrapped it in his handkerchief, and smuggled it out of the prison. Louis Charles' body was buried in an unmarked pauper's grave, a deliberate attempt to erase him forever. But the secrecy only fueled suspicion. Whispers of a substitute child began immediately. Perhaps the real prince had been smuggled out. Perhaps the corpse in the tower was a decoy. And across Europe and America, impostors emerged, each claiming to be the lost king, each with believers. The truth sat, silent and shrinking, inside a jar. Pelletan kept the heart hidden. It was stolen and recovered, nearly lost in a rebellion, given to royals, forgotten in palaces, and finally, in 1975, placed in a crystal urn in the Basilica of Saint-Denis, burial place of France's kings. But was it real? Not even historians could agree.
The DNA test that ended 200 years of rumors. By the late 1990s, DNA technology could do what history never could: settle the mystery. Two scientists, Jean-Jacques Casimir in Belgium and Ernst Brinkmann in Germany, obtained permission to test a tiny fragment of the mummified heart. They focused on mitochondrial DNA, passed unchanged from mother to child. If the heart was real, its DNA would match Marie Antoinette's maternal line. They extracted samples from the heart, preserved hair of Marie Antoinette, living descendants of her mother, Empress Maria Theresa. 2 labs, 2 countries, no communication, no possibility of influencing each other. In April 2000, the results were revealed. The match was perfect, identical, absolute. The heart belonged to Louis Charles. Louis XVII had not escaped. He had not been rescued. He had not grown up in America or Germany or anywhere else. He had died exactly where the record said he died, alone, abused, and forgotten in a stone tower in Paris. The unbearable truth. For more than 200 years, the world clung to a romantic story. A prince whisked to safety, a lost king living under a false name, a dynasty surviving in secret. The truth was not romantic at all. It was tragic beyond measure. The last son of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette did not disappear into legend. He died a slow, agonizing death in a prison cell, a child crushed beneath the weight of revolution. Science didn't just solve a mystery. It forced the world to confront the cruelty hidden behind the myth. And in the end, the only surviving piece of the lost boy, a tiny, shriveled heart, became the final witness to a truth too painful for centuries to accept.